Hi, I'm Denny and welcome to Raven Studios. Today I'm going to show you a track from scratch in the style of Last Night on Earth. Now this is a record label that I've actually released with, and if you're not too familiar with what Last Night on Earth is, it's the record label that's owned and run by the legendary DJ producer Sasha. So with that being said, and it being run by Sasha, it's all about the melodies. You know, he's the king of progressive house and melodic house and techno, and the record label is one of the leading in those genres too. So I thought it'd be really cool to show you my thought process and my approach to making a melodic record, as it does differ to when I'm making house and tech house. We've also had so many requests to make this video, so I thought it was about time I dived in and showed you how to do it. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so now I'm in an empty project. The first thing that I like to do, so normally when I'm making house music, the first thing that I will do is start with the kick drum and kind of work on the drums from the ground up. What I like to do with these tracks, which I don't do with any of my other music, and I don't know why, is I tend to work with the melodies first, and I kind of come up with just layering sounds and melodies and building, you know, just kind of building step by step. And then what I'll do at some point is then feel like now's the time I kind of want to start working on the drums and the groove. I think because there's more space in the drums in these tracks, I don't know, it just feels more natural for me to make it this way. Obviously, if you want to start on the drums and then do the melodies afterwards, that's absolutely fine. This is just the way that I kind of work. And in the same as my other tracks, all the other tracks I make, is I'll just set up like a 16 bar loop, 32 bar loop, and just basically get all the elements in there. And once I'm happy that I've got kind of a full sounding track, with all, you know, I'll mute parts and kind of solo parts and work out, you know, which is going to be different sections of the track. Once I've got all the elements in there, or most of the elements, I'll then get to a point where I feel like I'm ready to start arranging. And then, of course, once I'm arranging, it might become apparent where I need to start adding a few more different sounds and things. But what I'm going to do is just get all the sounds in. This is going to be a two-part video. I'm going to do make the track in this video, and in the next video is going to be about the arrangement, because obviously arranging these tracks is different to if I'm making like a house music arrangement or a tech house arrangement, etc. So that being said, let's dive in now, and I'm going to basically I need to find a synth. That's what I want to do. What I tend to do is try and look for sounds. Now what I could do is try and look for loops. You know, that's sometimes what I'll do with drums for house tracks, is I'll just try and get some loops, try and get some starting points. All you need is that initial starting point. Now, for this, what I'm going to do is I've got quite a few synths I could use, which could be quite good. But what I want to do is I'm going to use Contact. I'm a big fan of Contact. I know I've used it in a couple of my other videos on the Raven website. You all know I'm a big fan of it, but let's basically open that up. It's got some great sound banks in there, and I think there might be a good starting point for us in there. So it's just going to be a little bit of experimentation, really. Just try and find a pack that I feel is good, and just see if I can get some textures. And then what I'll do is I'll just build it from the ground up, really. So let's have a little look here. All right, let's go in this pack, Utopia. I mean, that doesn't sound bad straight away. So all I want to do is I'm looking for a sound or a starting point, something that's it'll just prick my ears up. So I'm just going to audition a few sounds and just see what we come up with. I mean, that's a cool sound. It's not what I'm looking for right now, but I might use that later on. A little bit too trancey, that. I'm looking for something quite cooler. It's a little bit too cinematic, that, I think. Some great sounds in here though. That might work for a bass line maybe. That's a great sound. Let's have a little look. Right. Okay, so this is sounding quite interesting. Right, let's see if we can come up with a melody. I do like this sound. I think there might be something in here. Okay, I actually quite like that. I like what that's doing. It's kind of got a little sequence. Okay, so there's a filter on it as well. So what I'm thinking there is that could even be a starting point. You could filter that sound in. Right, I'm going to record that melody in because I quite like that melody. And then, you know, this is really early days. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is, let's put the BPM to 127. I think that could be quite cool. And I'm just going to set, like I said, I'm going to set up a 16 bar loop. And then I'm just going to hit record and see what we come up with. Actually, I'm going to just put metronome on. That last one's sounding pretty good. There's definitely something, I can hear something in this. Like I say, all we need is a starting point, then we can just start building. Right, take that to there, and then if I copy that there, and then, oops. Let's put an extra note in there. And just to make it a little bit more interesting. Right, let's try that. Get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so let's put that back to how it was, and then let's just try this. Right, that's better, I think. I wonder if that note should go up. think that's the right note. Aha. Right, okay. I think that's the note we want. Oh, that's the note we've got. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, that's fine actually. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm just going to start adding some, like, try and find some pads and some things like that to add on top of it. But that's kind of a core melody, I think. Right, let's open up. Let's try Repro. This has got some great sounds, some great kind of pads in it. Okay, let's try this down an octave. Okay, I'm going to record that. I quite like the sound of that. Like I say, this is just, it's basically just sketching ideas. This is what I always do. It's just, you know, and just kind of build it. Because obviously once I've got all the elements, I can then start working out if I'm going to automate, filter, kind of play around with cut-offs and things like that. Just keep things interesting. But I just want to get as many sounds in as I possibly can. Right, let's try this. Help if I hit the right note. Let's go again. It's quite nice, I think. So that actually sounds like it could be the end of this phrase to me, actually. What I'm going to do, let me copy that over. Oops. So you can see it's kind of, they're doing similar notes. It's doing a similar pattern to what the other sound's doing, but it is they're slightly different notes. Let's try getting a bass in there. Now, I'm wondering if we could put held bass in, or if we put something a little bit more kind of rhythmic. Let's try a held bass. We'll have a little look on the repro first. Repro's one of my favourite synths. It's so good. It's just such a great all-rounder. And it sounds amazing. Let's give this a whirl. Actually, I wonder if it could follow that actual pattern. See what it sounds like another octave down. That's quite nice. So you can do something like that in, you know, within the track. So there can be elements where you're opening the bass line up. Right, that's a really nice starting point, I think. What I'm going to do is open up another a contact. And if you'd like to watch the rest of this video, please go to www.theravenstudios.com.